You want a sweet little country song? We don't do quiet. We don't test, it should only known. We don't do quiet. We don't do quiet, we don't do small boots. Hit hard, make the whole bar fall. Little bit sweet, little bit reckless. You can't hang, you can't handle Texas.
Hey, how's it going? This is the Beat and the Business with myself, Tracy Two-Step. How you doing over there, Ray? Tell them.
I'm all right, man. Hanging in there, taking it one day at a time,
Most definitely. This is our host, Ray Swoop. Tonight, we've got a legend. I'm going to warn you. I'm going to give you a few minutes here before we roll in with our artist tonight, legendary. If I want to drop names, I can start dropping, but hopefully you're looking at the description, the bios that have already been written up by Mr. Russell Gulley, Ol'Man, Russell Gulley. But Russell is a legend in himself in many rights, and now he's doing a lot in his community. So on the Beat and the Business, we've got a lot to get into. What I'd like to do first, Ray, is roll down here into one of the songs with Russell. And on the Beat and the Business here, unless you want to do it a different way.
Oh, no, let's roll. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Audience, they want to hear something, man. They want to hear something from them.
They want to, that's up to you. All right, Mose, be sure. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for that. I did hear you. I can hear you. All right, here we go. This is the Beat in the Business. Boots, stars, guitars. The Beat in the Business. Mr. Ray Swoop, Tracy Two-Step. Our guest, Ol'Man Russell, is going to come in and give you some information about the industry, what he's done before, and what he's doing now. Right now, I'd like to play one of his songs, and it is Root of Our Lives. Here it is.
These are the roots of our lives. These are the roots of our lives. Music, traditions, culture, religion. These are the roots of our lives. These are the roots of our lives. Music is found everywhere. It's in the stories from our past. Like the roots of a tree, the roots of our soul. We saw the roots of our lives. These are the roots of our lives. These are the roots of our lives. Music, traditions, culture, religion. These are the roots of our lives. Music, traditions, culture, religions. These are the roots of our lives. 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 These are the roots of our lives.
All right.
Did you see some of the pictures that I pulled up?
Oh yeah. I got a chance to check him out. Yeah,
I
pretty deep.
cannot wait to pull him up. We can do one of two things, Ray. We can go jump into the second song, or go ahead and just grab Ol'Man Russell.
Let's
And get
bring him
right
on.
in.
Yeah, let's get him
grab
on
it.
in.
All right,
Yeah.
everybody, you've had a little bit of time. Share this out. Tune in. We're grabbing him right now to come on. The Beat and the Business. My Southern comes out in here. Y'all got to watch it. The Beat and the Business with Ol'Man Russell. And I asked him that question today. Do you want me to say Russell Gulley, or do you want me to say Ol'Man Russell? And he's like, let's just roll with Ol'Man Russell. Here, welcome to the show is Russell Gulley. How are you doing?
All right.
How's it going,
you.
Russell?
I said, thank you. I'm doing real good. I've put in a pretty good day today,
Nice.
and doing pretty good for an old man.
I love that. This is Ray Swoop. You know
Peace.
me,
Nice.
Tracy
How you doing?
Two-Step
How you
over
doing?
here. We are live, radio, broadcast, podcast, you name it, multiple channels. I want you all, Mr. Russell Gulley, any active pages, anything out there, to tune in to that page for Russell Gulley. Go and check that out. You have got to see what's going on. Russell, when I say Muscle Shoals, what immediately comes to you?
Gosh, I can't put it into words, really. Muscle Shoals has been a tremendous part of my life. It when I first moved there, let's just say it changed my life completely. It's something that I can't get away from, and I've gone a lot of places. For example, say I might move to Nashville to seek some work up there, and when someone would be interviewing me or asking me, who I am, etc., and all I had to do was say, well, I'm from Muscle Shoals, and the door opens wide open. It's that well respected in the world. And so it's much bigger than I can even describe.
Wow. Well, if I've had to break it down for you, and I'm going to break it down a little bit here, when I think of Capitol Records, when I think of Jackson Highway, when I think of where Dolly went, when I think of Bonnie Raitt, when I think of Fame, the building that I pulled up, and I'm going to pull it up again because I want to ask you about it. And I say Capitol Records and your career and Lynyrd Skynard, and there is a big song out there. I do remember that. I'm not supposed to forget this. It's yourself, your brother, but a lot of people don't realize that darn song links right back to you right here with us, Mr. Russell Gulley. So there's quite a few things there I just hit on. One being Capitol Records and those names I just dropped: Lynyrd Skynard, Allman Brothers, Bob Seger, Bonnie Raitt, Little Richard. I mean, Capitol Records. We're over here like the business side. You've been in it. You've been in the business side, the touring side.
Well, I've been very fortunate. Some of those people I had the pleasure and the honor of meeting, and not necessarily collaborating with, but be in the same circle. For example, Lynyrd Skynard, you mentioned them, or maybe Blackfoot. Well, my relationship to those groups was through our producer, Jimmy Johnson, one of the original Swampers at 3614 Jackson Highway. That's where we got our name. And so we would meet these people. Sometimes we might not even talk very much. We'd pass each other in the hallway, but yet we were all part of the same family. And that's something that I live with day to day now. We're losing a lot of our heroes, a lot of our champions. At my age, I wonder how long I've got. But
You're still rocking out there. I saw it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep at it as long as I'm able to. Thank
You are
God, I'm real lucky.
You are doing a great job out there. You're still rolling. I want to bring up a couple of pictures. And when I bring these up, I'd love to hear from you what you see versus what I see, because you're going to know better than me. Here we go. Number one, Ray as well. Ray, you may even know more than I do. So Jackson Highway, y'all. You drop me where you're at right now. Drop me something where you're from, where you're tuning in from, what location, and if you know the answer, or is it just me? Did I not know that? Did I not know about Jackson Highway? Check it out. What is this?
That's Lynyrd Skynard. And that was back in, looks like the photo was taken during the 70s when they first were breaking through.
Yeah.
They worked with Jimmy Johnson just a couple of years before I moved there. In fact, when I went and did my interview with Jimmy Johnson, and he invited me to move to Muscle Shoals, I was to move there as a songwriter. They were trying to beef up their publishing company. Well, Skynyrd had just moved from there and had gone to work with some other people and had just put out their first records. And when I was talking to Jimmy, he took me back into the control room and he put on their first album, the one that had not been released at that point.
Wait, can y'all hear this? They put on Lynyrd Skynyrd's first album that nobody had heard, and here's Russell Gulley. Nobody else will be able to give you this except Russell.
So
sorry, I had to tell him.
Oh, that's okay. So Jimmy plays a little bit of this record, and he looks at me and he said, "You think you're that good?" Well, what am I supposed to say? I'm trying to get a record deal too. I can't say, no, I'm not as good as they are. And so our group of musicians that formed the band Jackson Highway were coming in right after Skynyrd had, like I said, moved away from the studio. Now, that record that he was playing me later was released as first. It was released as the first and last Lynyrd Skynyrd record. It was when Lynyrd Skynyrd had been through the plane crash, and that was supposed to be the end of the group. Of course, the band reformed with Ronnie Van Zant's brother singing. Ronnie was killed in a plane crash. And then that same record was re-released as simply the Muscle Shoals Sessions. But that would have been the very first recordings that they did as a group. Johnson, and I've heard when Ronnie Van Zant was alive, Ronnie credited Jimmy Johnson the same way I credit Jimmy Johnson. He taught us how to record, how to work in a studio, how to make records. Jimmy believed in band and musicians being in business themselves. Up to that point, during the 50s and such, every group of musicians, well, let's put it like this, no group of musicians had their own studio. They were hired by producers to come in. Well, Jimmy Johnson and them owned their own studio. And so he saw that as a model for my band in particular. He wanted us to learn every aspect of the business, everything from the publishing to the writing to being able to produce ourselves. I was the manager, so I was involved with the agents and putting us out on the road. So we were a self-contained business unit. And that
Right,
was
right.
part of his model. That's what Skinner and Jackson Highway and Blackfoot and some of the other artists that worked directly with Jimmy took away from that relationship. That's why you may not know Russell Gulley, but I've had over a 50-year career in the music business, either as a writer or as a performer. I've managed some other people. I've promoted records. I've even run a record company. Our first record by Jackson Highway was on our own label back in the day when there was no streaming. There was, it was the way to learn the business.
Mm,
But that's what Muscle Shoals means to me.
mm.
That there's a lot there. There's a whole lot to break down, and that's why I pulled this up. And here it is, 3614 Jackson Highway. And it looks like y'all are messing around right there. And there's a dang apple on the back of that car. Y'all didn't even know that we were about to have a whole business come out. That actually, that apple is a big deal.
Yeah, that was in the very early days. I can't really see exactly who those guys are.
Yeah.
It looks like maybe Roger Hawkins standing there. He was the drummer for the Swampers, standing there in the doorway. But it's during that era, I believe, when the Swampers were touring with Stevie Winwood and the group Traffic.
Okay.
That's about that era. That was just before I moved there.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And then here you are just in front of the building.
Well, now that's the Swampers.
Yep.
The guy on the right side, as you're looking at it, his name's Jimmy Johnson. He was kind of the business manager, the rhythm guitarist for the group. He produced us and Lynyrd Skynard. Then the guy next to him is the only surviving member of the Swampers today. His name was, or is, David Hood. He was co-producing with Jimmy for my band.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy that's second from the left is Roger Hawkins. He was the drummer, incredible drummer. I think that's why a lot of people wanted to go to Muscle Shoals, was because of his drumming. And then, of course, the big guy all the way on the left there is Barry Beckett. Barry was the keyboardist, a tremendous arranger, composer. It's strange between those four guys how much they were able to work together and accomplish.
Mm, mm, mm.
I love that. I also have this one right here. I recognize this picture. I think. Well, I don't even think. I know, but I want to hear you.
Well, when I decided that I wanted to start playing again, a couple of 2 or 3 years ago, I had some health issues, and to be honest, I didn't know if I would ever perform again. But over the last 2 or 3 years, I've steadily gotten better and better, and now I'm beginning to perform more. I just did a solo tour down through Baton Rouge there with Henry Turner.
Hey, Henry Turner Jr.
Yeah, and up through the Delta, went over to visit in Clarksdale, and also Jimmy Duck Holmes there in Batonia. Anyway, I've kind of built up my strength and decided to start touring again. I've done some recording, and these are the two musicians that are featured on my current recording. That song that you just played is one of those tracks, and you just played it for the first time. Nobody else has ever played that record. I haven't even released it yet.
Wow.
But
Nice.
the guy on the left, his name is Will McFarland. And Jimmy Johnson brought Will to Muscle Shoals the same way he brought me there. Will went on to become part of the Muscle Shoals rhythm section, and he was playing with Bonnie Raitt when he first moved there. That's the connection to Bonnie. And very deeply into soul and blues music. He's played with a long list of people that I can't even name them all right now, but I'm honored to have him playing guitar for me now. And then the guy on the right with the cap, with the baseball cap on, his name is Kelvin Holly. Kelvin, for over 20 years, was the lead guitar player for Little Richard.
Yeah.
And he also does a lot of sessions there in Muscle Shoals, and they're on my team. They are the two of what I call my Muscle Shoals A team when I go back in the studio, which I'm planning to do in another month or so.
Nice.
Those two guys will be doing the guitars on my next session.
Yeah, that's amazing. Everyone kept saying that's Chris Christopherson. When I pulled up that picture, they were like, "That's Chris Christopherson, Tracy," in that picture. And I said, "You need to wait and watch the show." Pay attention here, people. When I show you this, what do you see? We're looking at pictures here.
Well, that obviously is Bonnie Raitt. And of course, Bonnie is the person that took Will McFarland that was in that other photo and took him out on the road. They wound up in California, and that's where Jimmy met Will, was when he was playing with Bonnie. And then he recruited Will to come to Muscle Shoals to work at the Muscle Shoals Sound, and then of course that's where I became friends with him.
Yeah, and that's Bonnie Raitt. Everybody, you, Jimmy Johnson, Lynyrd Skynard, it's the Muscle Shoals A team, like you were saying, the A team coming through Muscle Shoals, the legends, the history, rolling through there. This building here, Fame is on there, the recording studio. Is it still there in Muscle Shoals? Muscle Shoals is well known for its recording history. So Muscle Shoals is somewhere that someone like Dolly Parton, for instance, has recorded one of her first studio sessions is known to be in Muscle Shoals. Muscle Shoals has a lot of history.
Well, that photo that you just showed of Fame.
Yeah.
Fame is where it all started. That's where it all started when it comes to the big time music industry. Rick Hall, the founder of Fame, his son Rodney Hall, still operates the studio today. They've recorded like Gregg Allman's last album before he passed away was recorded there.
And you're talking about the Allman Brothers. Yeah, Gregg Allman.
They're still very active, and Rick is the guy. Those other four guys that I just we talked about, the Swampers,
yep,
that formed Muscle Shoals Sound. There you go. Those four guys, they started out at Fame with Rick Hall.
Yeah.
So Rick is kind of the godfather of Muscle Shoals. He started them. It's just the whole town is indebted to Rick because he was one of those people that was so determined and so forceful that people ask why Muscle Shoals? Why did it happen in Muscle Shoals? Well, it was Rick Hall. He's the one that had the guts to get out there and promote and push it. And then he cut some tremendous records.
And I have been waiting to ask you this one, and now I'm going to turn to Ray. Amazing. Fame Recording Studios. We've got Ricky over here. We got Jimmy Johnson. We're just throwing names, but these are big names. These are the legends behind. We've mentioned Lynyrd Skynard, Bonnie Raitt, Russell Gulley, the Jackson Highway, Little Richard. We're talking about names that not only you aren't going to find many people nowadays that are still with us as can tell us firsthand about these legends, that most of them are not here right now. So we have you who has been, and you've been out there, and I've got to ask you this one. I love this one.
Well, that's Gregg Allman.
Yep.
But it also looks like sitting behind him looks like Ed King with Lynyrd Skynard. I'm not certain, but that's who it looks like to me. And of course, that is obviously when they're on stage and performing. That's an early Allman Brothers photo. It may be maybe the guys recording there at Fame in the very early days, because Dwayne Allman, Gregg's brother, became well known or recognized in the music industry when he recorded with I think it was Wilson Pickett that put out his version of the Beatles song "Hey Jude," and it was Dwayne's guitar parts that caught the ear of Jerry Wexler at Atlantic Records, and that led to him being recognized. And then, of course, almost right after that, formed the actual Allman Brothers Band and started recording themselves as artists. So that looks like the era of when he was, first there in Muscle Shoals. Dwayne, of course, was doing a lot of the session work during that brief period of time he was there.
That's an amazing photo for me to be able to pull and find it's in your archives, actually. So anything connected to Russell Gulley is pulled in your archives right here. That picture with Bonnie Raitt, that picture Lynyrd Skynyrd, that picture Gregg Allman, everything in the Muscle Shoals studio, Jimmy Johnson, Ricky Hall, is you. And I'm going to bring this up, and then I would like Ray Swoop to tune in over here on the business side and ask and get involved in the questions. Here we are. Now, Mr. Russell Gulley, Ol'Man Russell Gulley, is not stopping. The Muscle Shoals Blues Tour in 26 right now is coming to Two Squares. So in addition to taking care of some schools and putting together programs. So I'd like to turn it over to Ray Swoop now, my host on the Beat in the Business, and see what he would like to ask and know, because you have a wealth of knowledge. The first time I had you, you were like, hold on, Tracy, I'm doing a grant for a program. And I was like, okay, I'll hold on. But you're still very, very active. You're very experienced. You've been around quite a bit. Capitol Records is who you were with, and now you're an independent artist. So as an independent artist now versus then, I don't know how you can compare that, except it's different. But I'm looking at Ray now. I'm going to turn this to Ray Swoop and say, Ray, where do you want to go with this one? Because we're going from Capitol Records to some legends, now to Muscle Shoals and a blues tour with Mr. Russell Gulley.
Well, my question is that you seem to have worked with so many legends, and your musical experience crosses so many different years of like just dealing with these acts and traveling and touring, and you got such a wealth of knowledge. Like, where was your start? Where were your beginnings? Like, what prompted you or drew you to want to be a musician? And like, where were your beginnings, your musical roots?
Well, I started as a teenager. I was listening, of course, to Elvis and Jerry Lee Lewis and those guys.
Okay.
because I was growing up in the 50s and the 60s. Then I wanted to get a guitar, and my mom insisted that the only way she would let us boys, my brother and myself, have a guitar and learn how to play was if we played in church.
Okay.
So I started out playing in church.
Okay.
The first recordings I ever did when I was about 17, 18 years old was with a local gospel group. And then it was while I was with that gospel group that I decided that I wanted to be a full-time musician.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Nashville to record an album for that group. And the guitar player that was in charge of the session, kind of the floor leader or producer, he, I'm trying to think of his name, and I can't believe I'm having to stop and think to remember his name. We called him Dusty Road, but he played for Ernest Tubb, and he used another name because we were not in the union, and so he couldn't let somebody call him by his real name if he was playing on a non-union, session. It was an independent record, of course, and I remember that the leader of the group asked him, what he thought about me as a bass player. And what he said is he thought I was good enough that I could make it. If I wanted to be in the business, I could play in Nashville. Well, that's what sparked me into thinking, well, I want to be a professional musician. And so I started in church, went through the gospel period, and then was drafted and went to Vietnam. And when I came home from Vietnam, that's when I started working on the road and wound up in Muscle Shoals.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for your service too, Russell. I have to say that. Thank you for your service also. But starting in church, I'm going back to Raitt now.
Yeah. Another question I had. I know that you said you had started. You were signed to a major label with Capitol, and you're currently doing a lot of stuff. But what you're doing now is on your own independent. Like, what is the major difference as being somebody that was, an indie artist or is an indie artist, and somebody that has had experience with dealing with majors? What have been like some of your experiences with regards to that? And then what are some of the differences? Some pros, cons, and advantages, disadvantages to both.
Well, the music business today is a whole nother ball game compared to what it was 50 years ago when I started. Back then, independent records were called road records. A band or a group might put out a record primarily just to have something to sell when they, at their merch table.
Okay.
So it was a source of making some money, but it was not anything that was really going to get heard on radio or become a hit normally. Now there's Sun Records was an independent record, and so they obviously are the exception to the rule because they wound up with people like Jerry Lee and Elvis, But doing the independent records back then was just a step to try to get to the majors, because the major labels were the ones that had the money, not just to produce, records at a top level, but they had the money to promote them and get them out there. I mean, I remember the first advertisement in Billboard for my band when we signed with Capitol. That first full-page ad cost $50,000.
Oh, wow.
Now, back in that day, that was a lot of money, and today it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money now.
The difference between then and now, the rise of the internet and the technology and all of that has put independence into it's very easy. It doesn't cost that much. You can use CD Baby and some of the other platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Your record is distributed all over the world.
Right.
Online, it's available all over the world. The biggest difference that I think a lot of independent artists really needs to look at today is the promotion.
Okay.
You can get the product out there. You can record it in your bedroom. You can do it on a computer. I'm still old fashioned. I want to go into a room where I'm sitting there with 4 guys and making,
Right.
I'm not into AI. That's
Right.
another story.
Right.
But
For
the
sure.
point is all of that technology is available. So all of those aspects of the music business are now, accessible by anyone. The one thing that makes the difference is finding that promoter, that person that really knows how to get that record to the right hands and then to the right market so that it can be played.
Right. Most definitely. Which brings me to my next question for you. I know you wore a lot of hats with regards to the business side. You spoke about doing promotion, actually running independent labels, being a manager. I know you said the one guy, Jimmy Johnson, introduced you, but how did you gain all of those, gain the skills necessary? Like, was it kind of like you just learning on a job? Did you like pattern yourself or like have some mentors in these various different regions? How did you grasp all of those skills and put it to work for yourself? And then why is it so important for indie artists specifically to learn a lot of those different aspects of the business and kind of incorporate that into what it is they're doing alongside of their art?
Well, I did have mentors, and Jimmy Johnson was the primary one. I would go out on the road with the band and we would book dates. And then when we'd come back into town, the first place I would go was down to Muscle Shoals Sound. Normally, Jimmy would be in a recording session.
Okay.
And I'd be sitting there on the sofa till way past midnight when they finally would finish. And when he'd get out of the session, then he and I would go down to his office and I would kind of give him a detailed debriefing of exactly everything that was going on. Okay. And then he would tell me from his perspective what was being done. And so I learned a lot from him. I also learned a lot in the publishing aspects from our publisher there at Muscle Shoals Sound, a guy by the name of Mike O'Rear. Now, Mike has gone on since he was there at Muscle Shoals Sound. He started out just like me, playing in the bars and the clubs, and he wound up administrating the publishing at Muscle Shoals Sound, then went on to form his own publishing companies. And I guess his biggest records or publishing contracts were he had songs that he published by other writers, by people like Garth Brooks.
Nice.
Garth Brooks would be enough money overnight to put you where you could, go.
Yeah,
so I learned from these people. And then the other aspects of it was that after I'd kind of run the gamut, we'd been through major labels, we'd been out on the road opening for people like Ted Nugent and Blackfoot and those kind of people.
Okay.
Then I wound up back in my hometown of Fort Payne, which is where I live now.
Okay.
And I got involved with the formation of our local arts council. I was tired of being on the road. In fact, I told my publisher in Nashville, I told him, I said, I'm going back home. That don't mean I'm going to quit writing. I've always written since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But he offered to sign me to the company and give me a retainer. And I told him, I said, I don't want your money.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be where I can write for myself. I want to please myself. I was tired of booking agents telling you to do one thing, a manager telling you to do something else, a record label telling you to do something else, and then a publisher coming along and saying, well, now you need to write this because that's what's selling right now. I had to go find myself.
Okay.
And I think that's where most of our artists today need to first think, particularly since this level playing field is out there the way it is, where so many Taylor Swift, she was an independent artist, had over 100,000 people on her social media accounts listening to her records and buying them before she ever signed with a record company.
Right.
And but you have to find yourself. Mm-hmm. And then I think that's going to be the difference between human written and art as opposed to AI art.
Okay.
And we're facing that, but that's the key now. And then don't be afraid to listen to someone who has been around. You may not agree with them, but listen to them because they do have experience. And if you're 18 years old, you don't have that experience. Exactly. You may have the magic. You may have that touch. Elvis didn't realize he was going to be what he was.
Right.
He just went in and recorded some songs. They tried to get him to record other kinds of things because they couldn't find that magic. And then what happens? He goes in one day, and while they're standing around on break, he decides to start playing something he really liked. And the magic hit because it was him. He wasn't trying to duplicate.
Right.
I think there's a lot of potential with our business the way it is, but just networking and learning from the others in the business is the way you get there.
Nice.
I like that. Ray, I heard this. You know me. I'm about to say it. I know that some people, AI's here. It's not going away. So I see it, Ol'Man, like a tool. It is like an assistant. So it doesn't do my music. You can't put the heartbeat in it. But I do use that to organize me. I do use it as a tool. And so being able to use it for these things that are helping me stay above water, doing marketing, doing anything that I need to do. Actually, I am a person. I'm about to speak on a panel. I'm about to be put on one. Ray will be there as well. Springboard Fest, shout out Springboard Fest coming up.
I use AI in my business.
Okay, well, there you go. I was waiting to ask you.
To organize things. I'm just, I try to stay away from it with music just because I'm old school music. But AI can help me promote my music.
Yep.
So, it's not like, I've always said that one reason I always felt like, for example, that Elvis Presley made it at that particular moment, there were several things that happened. One of them was the introduction to the music market of the 45 RPM record.
Right.
Well, teenagers could afford to go buy a 45,
Right.
LPs hadn't come on yet, but it was a lot different from the old 78. And that 45 just, I don't think it's just coincidence that it just happened to happen when, the youth market, the rock and roll market was beginning to bloom. And then, in our era, hip hop and rap, look at the technical changes that are taking place. They took place when they started recording. The same thing is happening now with the other forms. So if you don't learn how to adapt, you don't survive.
For sure. Well, I want to hear some. We played "Roots of Our Lives," which that was a really good song. I dug it. I like the message. Obviously, you got a wonderful voice.
Let me say one thing about "Roots of Our Lives."
Yeah, tell me about it.
"Roots of Our Lives" was written in one of my classrooms with a group of fourth graders.
Oh wow!
So, as I progressed and started pulling together these new songs and recordings that are based on oral histories, I just felt like that was a really good theme for the overall project. And so that's why we decided to record it. And I kind of like it now that I've actually got it down. But
it was dope. I liked it. It was kind of broad with regards to it's broad in general with the message, but it's very case specific. It serves multiple different purposes. It's trimmed down and a concept that you can kind of so simple that you can kind of just grasp it, but it covers every expanse of life and every different culture. You talked about religion. You talked about politics. You talked about just culture, just ways to live it. So I thought that was a really good song, and I'm glad you you got an opportunity. I'm glad that you you opened up and told us how it came about. What's this next song that we're going to hear from you?
Let me think. Which one did I send you, hon?
Tracy, what songs did he send you?
No Holds Barred still to play. Are we ready for the song? Would you like me to grab that?
He wanted me to say something about it.
We're going to talk about it. He's going to tell us about it a little bit. Tell us a little something about it.
I'll make it real quick. It's based on an oral history.
Okay.
When I went to see a world famous painter, whose name is Howard Finster.
Okay.
He gave me a sermon. He was a retired minister.
Wow.
He gave me a sermon. What he would do is while he was painting, he would
Russell. Internet.
What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to go to his song and grab it. Hang on, Mr. Russell Gulley. I'm going into No Holds Barred. While Russell has been out there in the schools right now, building programs as well. I'm going to be asking Ray to host with him after this song. Ray, I want to know which artist, which record was the first one that he got before he leaves here. And while he's frozen, he just needs to go out and come back in, whether that's Chief, whether he can hear me or not. He's frozen, everybody, is what it is. So stand by. I'm going to get No Holds Barred and play that. This is his newest song that is out. He's doing what we need. He's out and in. Here we go. No Holds Barred.
and the devil and no hose bar. Me and the devil and no hose bar. Me and the devil and no hose bar. Well, I want to go to heaven, but I don't want to die. Keep praying for peace, but I don't know why. There's always some demon trying to fire things up, and there ain't no peace this side of the dirt. So step back, people, see my battle scars. It's just me and the devil and no hose bar. Me and the devil and no hose bar. Me and the devil and no hose bar.
There it is. There it is.
Howard Fincher walked through hell last night. Said he's looking for the devil, gonna give him a fight. So step back, people, see my battle scars. It's just me and the devil and no hose bar. Me and the devil and no hose bar. No hose bar.
I like
Woo.
that.
What do you think, Ray? What do you
I
think?
like that. I like that. I can tell.
Still got
I
it.
love. I'm really huge on lyrics to
Yeah.
songs, and so I listen
That one.
to the message and listen to what people. And I like where he was going with that, man. That was
He's got
dope.
a message. He's a
Yeah, that was
songwriter for sure, man.
Yeah, he's
I-
hell of
when we
a hell of a
get back-
writer.
Even if we don't
Definitely
get him back in here, I'm
But I
gonna
remember
tell
who was playing that lead guitar. Whoever that was on that lead guitar
Yeah.
was cutting up,
Watch
Jack.
this.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
about
I thought
to
he
show
said he
you
played the
something.
bass. I thought he
this
played the
man
bass.
plays drums, bass, guitar.
Oh.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He'll downplay what he does and who he is, but I won't.
Yeah, he was getting
He's
down.
out
He
there.
definitely was
Look at
getting
this.
down.
Look at him.
Yeah, he was getting down.
This is
Yeah,
not
for
long.
sure.
This was like just recent.
Okay.
So there
okay.
he is on that guitar. Right, he gets out there and plays it all. He's still
Yeah,
out on
he's
the
a bad man,
street.
Jack.
Look
Yeah,
at him.
he's a bad man.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's from A in the church to B. I'm going to Capitol Records. C. Let's talk about Elvis, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Bonnie Raitt, Jimmy Johnson,
Right.
and Ricky Hall. I'd love to get to Ricky Hall.
Right.
Ricky Hall from Fame Recording Studios in Muscle
Mhm.
Shoals. Oh my goodness. Can
Right.
you imagine? And I
Yeah.
actually want to do a song with Russell. I'd love to get
Right.
us three and get a song written, get our
That'd be
lyrics,
cool.
and
That'd
then
be
we'll
cool.
get it out in the studio like we did, like
right.
Ray and I work.
Yeah.
Hey, Ray, what do you
Yeah.
think about his answer on the AI? I knew in your head were you going, Tracy's going to say something.
Yeah. I feel like it's pretty much like, with most artists, they say, it's an assistant. You don't want AI to be, I guess,
Well, it's not
as
the
artists,
artist,
we got pride and we want our message. We don't want AI to produce or to manufacture our lyrics for us or our thoughts,
that.
our concepts. We want to be able to come up with it ourselves and tell our stories. Now, like I said, when I am gathering from like dealing with a lot of our guests, when it comes to AI can help to structure, can help to build, can operate as an assistant to help to
it's a tool.
to put together. But as far as like just counting on it to
No,
just
you can't
produce,
just go in and count on that. You got to have you gotta have your songwriting ability. Now that's me. You should have your lyrics. You should have that. You shouldn't go in and grab it from a machine. You know, you can't replace the human heartbeat in an artist, but you can.
Because I mean, AI, as much as an AI may be able to create lyrics, can it realistically tell your story?
No,
can it really gather your life experiences and then put them together in your words with your voice or with your feeling, with your emotion? It's like it'll just grab a generic overall concept and then structure it and frame it. But at the same time, it's like it would be able to do that for anybody. You can fit any, you know, plug artist A, plug artist B. You can plug any artist into there and use those lyrics. But it's like, well, I take pride in what it is that I personally write, because, you know, I got a writing style, and then I'll draw from my experiences or from the people around me that, you know, if it's not firsthand, it's most certainly secondhand. Yeah. So you know, and so that's the main difference. But he has a really great
songwriting. All of that, we're on the same page. You know, think about it. We've gone from vinyl to cassette to CD. And in the studios, they've been using equalizers, you name it. That's technology. Yeah, advancing.
Reel to reel. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask him that, and what I believe has happened is he's fallen out and needs to jump back into the link. I am very close to Russell Gulley. He goes by Ol'Man Russell right now. I'm going to pull up a picture. He did do this in AI. Ol'Man Russell Gulley right there. And then again, don't forget Muscle Shoals, Ol'Man Russell Gulley, starting April 24th at 6 p.m. Go to Two Sisters Square in Alabama, Scottsboro, Alabama. Listen, he's still got Ricky Fargo, Will McFarlane, Kevin Hawley, Dennis Scully. He's still got Ricky Hall and Jimmy Johnson. These are the Lynyrd Skynyrd team. This is the team with Little Richard, with Bonnie Raitt, Jimmy Johnson. Keyword there. Keyword. So we have a legendary amount of information. The pictures I have that nobody else could produce. And what do you think, Ray? I mean, I just love. That's Ray's dog, everybody. The dog loves it. The dog's like, yes.
Yeah, he enjoys the music too.
He's like Ol'Man Russell.
That was his answer for AI. That was his AI.
That's his answer.
I'm sorry about that. What we say? Go back with the question. What were you asking me about?
I don't even know.
He was asking me about his pictures, about the pictures and about the
exactly. Photos. Like, can you imagine? Like, I just pulled up Bonnie Raitt, that full picture, and then Gregg Allman.
I was going to ask him that question. Like, with those photographs, like, where are those pictures that he actually took, or was he
those
there?
Those are with him. Yeah, it's Jimmy Johnson and the Muscle Shoals studio that's super famous that a lot of people have gone into. So I have them because of the Muscle Shoals studio that's still there, and nice. Jimmy Johnson. But Ricky Hall, he's still alive. He's still here. Oh, wow. So he's still got Ricky Fargo. That's a name, y'all. McFarlane. Go look these up if you don't know who they are. I'm going to be honest and tell you what. I had to go look up something, and I went, "Oh shoot! I knew the name. I just couldn't put who it is." But he has worked with Little Richard. He's worked with Aretha Franklin. Oh, wow. I mean, whether it was on drums, songs. He's a legendary songwriter too, not just a musician. There's 2 pieces and 3 pieces to him. Business wise, he reached out to our good friend Henry Turner Jr. is what he did. He said, "You know, man, do you think I could get out there?" He'd been into Southern rock. "Do you think I could pull off blues?" And you know, Henry Turner Jr., he laughed. He was like, "Of course you can. Like, just do it, man. Just get up and do it." And so Henry introduced me to him. That's Henry Turner Jr., everybody. Gonna talk some blues. He went straight to the blues man, and he was like, "Of course you can. Why couldn't you?" Right. And there is a reason that he thought he couldn't. So he's thinking respect his history, the people he's worked with. He's got some legends in there, and he was like, "I don't think that it's right."
Definitely. That's what that's one thing I noticed, that he seemed to have worked with or in step with a lot of legends, a lot of you know, he's naming like Lynyrd Skynyrd and the Allman brothers. These are individuals that I'm familiar with them as far as I'm not as familiar with them as obviously maybe you may be or something, but I've heard of them. And like I remember my father playing Lynyrd Skynard albums with me when I was coming up. So when I hear like he's actually in the studio, he's listening to unreleased Lynyrd Skynard material. I'm like, wow,
right?
He's locked in. Yeah, he's definitely locked in.
Yeah, who could say that? How many people are going to be able to come on here and say, hey, I got to go in here, locking in on who is this band, and guess what? It's Lynyrd Skynyrd. Right. Or guess what? Elvis Presley. Guess what? Bonnie Raitt. Guess what? Dolly. I mean, the list just keeps going, and it's because of his producer and the Muscle Shoals studio. Muscle Shoals has got it's a legend, man. You think of Nashville. You think of other.
I didn't really know how deep Muscle Shoals was until we would talk about bringing them on. I started kind of researching and seeing some of the of the people that had passed through there and learning about the history. I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that that much history.
Dolly started there.
Out of that place.
Dolly, that was her studio. She went to it. I mean, it was a lot less expensive. This is where the legends would go out of Nashville. It was too much there, and they all started forming their own community, and it's still there. I see we have a message. Let me check that. Yep, I see that. We're getting towards the end here, but we do have, is it 23 or 33? 23,000 tuning. Yeah, 23,000 tuning in right now. And I'm not talking about my broadcast radio side. I'm talking about 2 other areas. So we appreciate you. We see you and we thank you. I do have something for you that is finished from The Beat in the Business by Raitt Swoop. I'd actually like to play it. We haven't broken it. We want to break it down for the intro for you, but it's not there yet. So instead of waiting the whole time to run into a show, we're going to break that into a segment for an intro for you. But this is a song that just got done, and it's The Beat in the Business. And this is Raitt Swoop. Ray, who did you go to? Lord Hakeem?
This was actually produced by my brother. He goes by the name Goldfingers. Yeah, we call Woo Swoop, but I gave him the name Goldfingers. We call him Goldfingers, aka Soul Fingers. So he's a producer that I've used. Actually, he did a lot of work for me in the past, and this is actually
that's cool. See, I just learned something.
Yeah, it's my.
You call him Soul Fingers.
Soul Fingers. It's my youngest brother.
I like that. I like that one. I like the name, man. I like that. And it's your brother. I did not know that your brother was doing the producing side.
Yeah.
You know that. You got your dad, you got your brother, you got, well, I'm one to talk, but yeah. This is his brother, everybody. So The Beat in the Business is written by Ray. It is Ray's voice as well. Yeah, so let's roll this. Here we go. Check this out. We're watching.
What is this? The Beat in the Business. What is this? Are we talking the beat or the business? Cause if you independent, then really what is the difference? The trick is keeping the cash you make from all the big wigs. Why make all the art to give record execs the riches? It's senseless, trading away the craft for cash and riches, which is how the vision switches. Corporations convince us that it's just this. Convert something solid to something liquid. Losing yourself for something, not losing yourself within it. The consequences of giving, selling your soul while living, remaining as independent while making enough to spend it. The critics misrepresented, the artists think it's limited. So even in well-intended, they sell it as inauthentic. The minute you lose the feeling, the credit, it soon diminishes. Culture is left to the vultures who just want to finish it. Leaving the witnesses that visited to reminisce. If giving this away to make a way is what the mission is. Yeah, that's The Beat in the Business, everybody. The Beat in the Business. That's the name of the record. The Beat in the Business.
Most definitely. I got it turned around on you right now. I'm gonna flip it around. I wanted them to have a good look because we will be with you after. I'm not leaving you. Am I flipped? Yep. There you are. Okay. So Raitt Swoop right there, The Beat in the Business. You're tuned in. Booth Stars Guitars. I do want to leave with this. We will be at Springboard Fest. Springboard Fest is rolling all through Texas. And we will be in the Houston area the weekend after March 25th. So that week I'll be in Houston. You're already there. And then talking on a panel, actually, I'm a little bit of anxiousness. He's like, just grab Ray. Ray's from the streets. And I said, man, you don't even know me, but I definitely will grab Ray. He's like, I was like, why are you putting me up at that table? So the table is to talk about AI. So AI in music, AI, and we're at a full music industry conference panel. So shout out to Springboard Fest. Shout out to We Get Artists. Everybody go to springboardtexas.com. Springboardtexas.com. Look at the bands. This is free for you to come in and learn. There's a whole business side, but then there's the music that's for free too. So we are in charge as an organization. We are a nonprofit, Sargent2stepfoundation.org. Sargent, that's SGT. Use the 2, you don't spell it. Sargent2stepfoundation.org. That is us. We will be setting up in South Austin. So we have that in our control for March 31st. So I'm going to push all of you and urge you to come on out. You know, that is Springboard, Texas, rolling through. See what's going on there. Shout out tomorrow night, Ray. I've got the Calamity Janes who are up for their award, duo of the year. So I will be at the Texas Regional Radio Music Awards. Say it again, Texas Regional Radio Music Awards. I will be there this weekend, tuning into who's on that stage. Michael Montgomery. That's a big name here. Okay. We got some big things going on. So we will be at the Texas Regional Radio Music Awards, everyone. We will then be jumping over to springboardtexas.com. You need to know this. It's free. You don't get this kind of information or this music free anywhere else at any one time. So you show up. That's my advice. Show up. This is how I met Ray. It's a lot of networking. As Ol'Man Russell, y'all don't forget him. What did he say? He said networking. Right. Yeah. What did you take from this, Ray?
I took that just how important it is as a creative, as an artist, to also wear many hats and to learn about business. He spoke about being on a major and the differences between being on a major versus being on an independent label. Yeah. But then he spoke about being a manager, running an independent label. He spoke about doing promotions. He spoke about doing marketing. So when you have all those various different skills, even if you aren't controlling or even if you aren't doing or executing each and every last one of those functions in your career, when you put people in place to do that for you, it's always good, because then you know if they're being effective, you know if they're doing what they can or what they should be doing for you. And then in the event that certain things are not being done or certain tasks aren't being performed up to your up to your standard, then you know how to go in and fix it. You know how to go in and change it. You know how to go. And it always, as an indie artist, I believe we all start out as our own managers, because we go into open mics or showing up to these venues where you're not being paid, or you may have to you have to manage your time, and you have to be able to interface with promoters and venue owners and stuff like that. So I think that the main draw I got from it is just be very well versed. Don't just be an artist. Don't just be a writer or a performer or a musician.
And network would be
definitely network. You don't
want to cut out your marketing,
you gotta,
PR. That's that is my background: marketing, PR, writing. So no, I don't want it to take my job, but I come across some things when I look at someone's bio, or I look at their one sheet. It's a one sheet in music, everybody. I looked at something, I'm like, you ran that through ChatGPT. So hold up, answer 10 questions for me so I can put you in here. So that's what I say. But Ray, I love the song To Beat the Business. We're going to get it cut up for you, get some intro in there so that we've got some pictures. But the Beat the Business, you can find us out there everywhere. You can find Ray Swoop. There's an E on the end of his name. Ray Swoop, SWOOPE. Ray Swoop. Tracy Two-Step is everywhere. It's a 2. You don't spell it. It's Tracy Two-Step. Check it out. It's the beat in the business. It is actually officially launched as the umbrella under Boots, Stars, and Guitars, BSG. Boots, Stars, and Guitars. Springboard Fest has actually picked up Boots, Stars, and Guitars as a featured partnership with Springboard. So, and the beat in the business is the show that we will be there, and they want to auction off our show. Actually, they're going to auction off Ray and I. So Ray and I are up for auction.
Wow.
Did you know that?
Oh yeah, he did tell me that he went to auction slots for our space on it. So yeah, he did. I talked to Barry about it.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty
cool.
The beat
and the business, big beats, big business moves all day long. Now, Boots, Stars, Guitars has to hold all this. So it's where music meets mission. So produced by the Two-Step Media, produced by our foundation, sergeant2stepfoundation.org. So everything feeds the community. Got to take care of our community. Got to get it back in there in the music, and then take care of our artists. And so I say we close out the mainstream here into broadcast and radio and tune into the people over here that are waving and all at me and say hi to them. So I say thank you for tuning in. If you come across this, keep putting it out. You will not have, I can get old man Russell back, but in order to get someone like that who can talk to you about all those names we just talked about, forget about it. Like, you know what they say up there in, the Italian, like, forget about it. Forget about it, right?
Yeah, forget about it. That's all one of my favorites. Saying, forget about it. Yeah, man.
Forget about it. Ray and I are more like than y'all think. It's funny. Hey, we're going to close this out, and then I'm going to be right over with you all. So, Ray, it's been another good night here with Ol'Man Russell Gulley. Talking it out. Those pictures, man, y'all come across this, you need to visually see what we just saw. And I'll
very rich history. Very rich history. That's what they're gonna say. He got a very rich history.
Yes,
he's
does.
Been rubbing elbows with some legends.
Yeah, I gotta show it again. I was like, wait a minute, what did you send me? Like, he doesn't even know what he sent. I'm like, wait a minute. I went and researched it, and I was like, does he know he sent me Gregg Allman with a picture of the Lynyrd Skynard in the studio of Muscle Shoals? No, he just sent, here, Tracy. We have that relationship because Henry, he trusts me. So when I got it, I was like, hold up. I just got something again, y'all. This Bonnie Raitt picture, I've got it out now, so you're gonna be able to find it everywhere, technology-wise. But that is a cool picture there, Bonnie Raitt. So as we end out tonight, again, Lynyrd Skynard, he's like, oh yeah, that's when they were just, they were just starting. Look at those jeans, Ray. Those white jeans on.
Yeah, I see him. Yeah, I see him. They rocking out, Jack. They rocking out. I wonder how he keep them bad boys, because they look real clean. He must have just put them on.
I don't know.
Yeah, he just put them on.
It's cool, man. Y'all got to see it. You got to see what I'm looking at. I'm not kidding, and I'm not going to say it, but you know what I'm thinking, right? And then Fame is still there. Fame, the recording studio where they did all this work that we've talked about, is still standing. So check everything out. We're going to check out tonight and say thank you for tuning in on the Beat in the Business, Ray.
Peace out, everybody. Peace and blessings, man. Y'all have a great night. Thank you for rocking out with us, man. We'll see you again soon.
That's right. And all of you, stand by. Stand by.
Little bit reckless, you can't hang, you can't handle Texas.